Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with my Sunday's Art of Truth. Today I'm going to be creating around a quote that says, "You are complete even in pieces." Don't you know that sometimes life throws us curveballs, lots of curveballs, and sometimes they are curveballs on top of our curveballs, and we have to learn how to navigate that. So this journal spread, I'm working in a really small journal, which I'll talk to you about in just a second, but I'm be creating a mixed media spread, journal spread, but that's what I'm processing. Those are the concepts that I'm processing. So I'm going to be using some butterfly stuff. I'm actually using items from my Your Creative Studio. I ordered the February box. It is amazing. So I'll be showing you the stuff as I use it, but I thought it would be a great way to introduce that into my art because I have never ordered a subscription box before, and it is really, really awesome, full of beautiful butterfly stuff. This being just one of the things is this beautiful butterfly. Sorry for the glare. I'm trying to fix the lighting here in the studio. So really nice rubber stamp. And then another thing that we're going to be using, this is a packet of just all kinds of papers. So we're going to be using these to do a little bit of collaging on the base. So I am going to do a voiceover. So if you want to check out the inspiration for the project, you can hop on over to the blog at B.Rebornart.com. The link will be in the description box to get over to the blog. So where you can find close-up photos and the blog writing, as well as the supply list. So I've got all my supplies, my normal mixed media supplies. If you watched me at all, I've got my fluid matte medium, I've got gesso, I have my Crafters Workshop modeling paste. I am going to be using some inks, usually some sprays rather. Usually I go for acrylic. Today I'm trying something a little bit different. So I'm going to be using my Distress Spray in Vintage Photo. I'm going to be using Moonshadow Mist. This is Lindy Stamp Gang Spray, and this one is called Cocklebell's Coral. So I'm hoping that's not going to be too vibrant. We'll see. But the beauty of these sprays is that you can put them over texture, and it's going to and then you spray water and it just like pushes all of that ink out through that texture. So we'll be doing that as well. So I just realized I did not pull a stencil. So I'm going to go ahead and get going. I'm going to grab my stencil and I'll be back with you here in a second. I'm going to start just putting some papers down, prepping my page spread, and I'm going to turn on the music for you. I'm going to go ahead and apply my papers with my Liquitex Fluid Matte Medium. I did open my gesso here in error. I did not mean to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start again with the matte medium. This is a very fluid glue, and it works really well for collaging, especially in mixed media. This paper is from the Your Creative Studio subscription box for February, the one I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I didn't subscribe, I just purchased the one box just to see if it was worth the value. It completely is. It was $36.80 American money, and USA currency, USD, I don't know. So it was well worth it. It is full of goodies. I did not do an unboxing just because there are a lot of creators and a lot of channels that have done that, and I didn't want to be redundant. So if I order another one, I might do an unboxing, but we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to music and let you guys listen to some music for a bit. There is really no rhyme or reason to the way that I'm applying these papers or the papers that I'm selecting, other than I wanted to have papers that would add some cool visual dimension, visual interest to the background for anything that would peek through after all of the mediums are put on the top. That last piece that you just saw me put on, and this one that I have in my hand, is actually some handmade paper that came in the Your Creative Studio box, so I thought I would go ahead and use that. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys listen some more. Now I'm coming in with some modeling paste. This is from the Crafter's Workshop, and I'm going to be using kind of a diamond stencil there. I had picked kind of a mandala stencil, but for some reason this one really spoke to me, so I went ahead and grabbed it instead. The mandala would have been beautiful here too, because it would have created a lot of really cool raised texture on this spread that would have really caught the sprays and the colors of the different things that I'm applying here in a little bit. But the diamonds worked very well too. I believe this is also a stencil from the Crafter's Workshop. So I'm just applying it really kind of carefully, because I don't want it to be, I want it to be a fairly crisp application. I'm not looking for perfection, but I did want it to be fairly defined. So you see me going over parts of it over and over again, just to take off the excess modeling paste, so that I didn't create those kind of peaks that you get when you lift the stencil. So I'm just wiping that modeling paste off of the butterfly, because I did not want it on the butterfly. And while it's wet, it's super easy to just do that, either with your finger or with a baby wipe or something. So I'm going to go ahead and let you listen a little bit more to some music. Now I'm going to come in with some gesso, just some white gesso. This is from Liquitex, and I'm going to use my palette knife, and I'm just going to kind of add a little bit more texture to the surface, kind of around the edges there, as you see me doing, as well as I'm going to bump into that texture that I just made with the modeling paste. The modeling paste is not dry, which I really love, because it kind of allows you to blend those two textures together, the gesso and the modeling paste, and it creates a really great surface. And you'll be able to see that in the still photos at the end of the video. This spread turned out really good. It was a hot mess, though, I have to tell you. I spilt half of my container there of matte medium on my desk, and then a little bit later I do spill half of a bottle of some spray. So yeah, it was quite a video process, I guess, quite a creative process. In the end, though, it turned out really good. And I talk about that a little bit at the end of the video. I'm going to share with you kind of what I was thinking as I was moving through this, because it was a little bit frustrating. And I was thinking, man, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to create? I'm clearly not in a headspace to do this, but I did go ahead and continue and like kind of let you see what that looks like. So yeah, so that's just a close-up of all that texture before there's any color applied to it. And I love the layers. They just, and the script and stuff shows up beautifully. So yeah, it's just a fun process. I would really encourage you to get an art journal, a small art journal. This one measures 5.5 by 5.5, so it's really manageable. You don't have to be really committed. You can just kind of play around. So here I'm going to come in with one of my stamps. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I will be sure to link it in the supply list over on my blog. And so I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that text everywhere around the spread on both of the pages. I really like that. By the way, that was completely dried. I hope you saw that a minute ago, my dryer coming into view there. You do want to make sure it's nice and dry, not only for the stamping, but for the liquid that we're going to be applying. Otherwise, it will just lift up and create a mushy mess. So just going here and there around. I love that text on top of that stenciling that I did. And again, you'll be able to see what I mean in the close-up photos at the end. It turned out absolutely beautiful. I think I will definitely be using this journal more because it didn't feel so daunting as my really big page. I think that my other journal is like, I don't know, 11 by 14, so the page is like 14 inches, or I don't know. I don't remember what the dimensions are, but it's big. So I am going to also use, this is a butterfly from the Your Creative Studio box. Again, that's the February box. It was all butterfly themed. Really, really beautiful, high quality stuff, you guys. I would highly recommend it. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the full butterfly in there in the left-hand corner, the lower left-hand corner, excuse me. And I'm also going to stamp parts of it on the top and the bottom edges of the left page and then the right page here. Just kind of like they're peeking through or passing by or something. I really, really love that look when you kind of have a partial image. Because it kind of leaves the viewer kind of wondering what the mystery is there and wanting to continue to watch to see what happens. So it creates a lot of intrigue, I think. So now I'm going to come in with the sprays, and this first spray is called excuse me, like I didn't grab my note, Cockbell's Coral, and it is a Lindy Stamp Gang spray. It is I said, I think earlier, that it's a glitter spray. It is not a glitter spray, it's shimmer. So it's going to leave a shimmer, and hopefully you'll be able to see that in the photos. It's kind of hard to see it as it's going on here because you don't really see that shimmer until it dries. So I'm trying to use that nozzle here to drop in some of that that spray into the texture, but you can see that nozzle, that the little tubing is pretty bent. So I do go full on. I fully commit to spraying on this this shimmer spray here in a little bit, but I do I'm trying to do it in a little bit more of a measured way so I can control it. The color is gorgeous. It's more like a kind of a peachy pink, and it was exactly what I was looking for as I was thinking about the colors I wanted to bring out. I wanted it to be light. I wanted it to be I wanted it to kind of bring out the colors in the butterfly there off to the right, and it definitely did that. So I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to the music here. This process does go on for a little bit because I'm going to go back and forth between the Cockbell's Coral, Long John Silver, which is a silver shimmer, and then the Distress stain in Vintage Photo, which is the stain that I spilled on my desk, and I didn't cut that out. I left it in there just for you guys. So I will be back shortly. And here is where I decided to just kind of go full in with the spray, because it was just taking so long to apply that spray the way that I was doing it. And it worked out well, because it actually gave me more color to the background than I probably would have gotten with the nozzle. So, and I do, as you've seen here, I am spritzing it with water and then moving that around so that I can, so that spray will settle into the texture. It also adheres really well to the gesso and the texture paste, the modeling paste rather. I don't know if that's just the nature of the spray. I always forget them. I forget to use them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. But they're kind of in a drawer, someplace where I don't look, and so I forget about them, you know, like some of our supplies. But I thought, wow, I want to do something different. I normally don't work with water reactive mediums in my art journaling, because I like the permanence of acrylic paint and acrylic ink and other water resistant or waterproof mediums. So this is something that I don't do very frequently, but it's a very free way to create. So I probably will be trying that in the future. So here I'm just going to show you a close-up again of that first layer of texture. I am making sure that I'm drying in between each of the colors, because I don't know necessarily what this Cockbell's Coral and the Long John Silver is going to do when they mix. And they are going to mix a little bit, because they are, again, water reactive. They're liquid reactive. But it was great. They were gorgeous together, and you'll be able to see that again in the close-up photos. So I was trying to show you the label there, but it didn't really show up. But that color is called Long John Silver, and you can get these Lindy sprays on Amazon. And I think they come in a 5-pack, and I think they're quite affordable because they last forever. So sometimes the nozzles do get a little clogged, but it's one of those things where you could just put it in a palette or something. When you want to use it, just spill a little bit out and use a brush to apply it, which you're going to see me do later. I stop fussing with the nozzles, and I start actually using my brush. You'll see that after I spill the distress stain all over my desk, and I'm like, I can't clean this up, I can't salvage this. So I just started dipping my brush into what was on my desk. So that was quite fun. But I was really not laughing, in all honesty. I was creating it on a work night. I was already tired, and my back is hurting a lot. And so, yeah, so it wasn't a happy moment, but it was a growth time for me. And I'm grateful for that opportunity to be able to step back and think about how I want to respond to the situation. Do I want to trash the project, or do I want to see where it's going to go? And I'm so glad that I stuck with it, and I just saw where this was going to go, because it is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It was perfect. It was not what I was after. It was not what I was going for, but it was exactly what I needed. So there we go. So that was the Long John Silver, and then I'm coming back in with the Cockbell's Coral, just spraying it on, and then I'm trying to kind of sop it up there along the spine so that it doesn't seep through onto all the other pages. So there's another close-up. The camera here does not do it justice, so I do encourage you to watch all the way to the end and see the photos at the end, because it does show up a lot more, and it's magical. And that heart, so you see that diamond there to the left of the butterfly, it didn't take it didn't fully work, and so it left like a little heart-shaped bit there. And I thought, wow, like that is so cool in this situation, like in this kind of, I'm trying to redeem this project. So here we're going to come in with the distress stain. I have about 4 or 5 different colors of distress stains, and I rarely use them. This was wonderful. I loved it. So again, I'm going in with the nozzle, because that I've done that before successfully, but it is part of the reason why I end up spilling the bottle. So you're going to see that here in not very long. I will tell you, I didn't cuss or anything. I have been known to, but I did not in this case. I was like, you know what? Like, what do you do? Like, do you scream and throw a fit and cry? Or Or do we make, lemonade out of lemons? I mean, it was just crazy. So that's what I did. I'm making lemonades out of lemons by just dabbing my paper towel back into that sopping mess, and I'm just going to dab all over it. I know it looks scary and dark right now, but I'm going to spray it with some water, which is going to kind of push that and dissipate it some. And then I'm going to lay a paper towel on the top and soak up the extra here, because that was a lot, right? And then just dab it here and there until I got the desired effect that I was going for. So it worked out just fine. I do continue to go around the edges, so I'm going to go ahead and just turn the music back on and let you watch until this part of the process is done, and then I'll be back with you. Okay guys, so this is what we ended up with. I used, as you could see, I used some, these are a glitter spray, so when this dries, it's going to be really glittery and beautiful. Look at my nails. Oh my goodness. As you saw in the video, I had a complete 2 double disasters on this project. I'm going to pan out so you can see my desk. Look at that mess. I mean, oh my goodness gracious, terrible. But this is the way it goes for me. Like, I can have an idea in my head before I start about what I'm thinking, what quote I'm going to be using, which was, "You are complete even in pieces," which still applies, but that's not the quote I'm going to put on this. I'm going to go ahead and stamp a quote on here off camera, but what it's going to say is, show up. Show up and let yourself be seen. So that's a Brené Brown quote. I'm going to probably just use the show up, because in that it's the same message. You are complete even in pieces. My artistic flow is busted right now in some ways. Not in all ways, but in some ways it is busted, and I don't know why. So When I sat down to do this, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to leave white space, and as you can see, it went really grungy. I absolutely love this. Like, look at this texture here. And we've got this heart where one of these diamonds didn't get completely put on. And all this has this like rosy tone to it. And then the words and the script and the grunge just speaks to me. So if that's not up your alley, guys, then please feel free to find someone else to follow. But this felt like a disaster. Like, at every turn, I dumped over my matte medium, which I'm already almost out of. I dumped over like half of this little bucket. And then while I was using this distress ink, this distress stain, I knocked it over and had a big, huge puddle there. But in that, as I'm processing through that, I'm thinking about, am I just going to trash this thing? Am I just going to move on with my night and just be okay with not creating again for my Sunday's Art of Truth? Or am I going to let this be the lesson that I'm speaking, which is you are complete even in pieces? So clearly inside, I feel I'm in pieces a bit. But yet I'm showing up. I showed up. I did a journal spread. It was not what I had in mind. It's beautiful. I love it, which is often our experiences in life as well, right? They happen. We learn to adapt. We learn to grow through them. We learn lessons. We learn how to be stronger people and all of those things. So the message of this piece is now show up. So if you want to read the inspiration for this journal spread, please head on over to B.Rebornart.com and you can check out the blog writing. And thank you so much for stopping by. And I've got to clean up this mess. Additionally, I did not put any mat or anything down. This is my desk surface. I did not expect to get this messy. So that's going to be task number 1 when I turn the camera off. So anyway, guys, thank you again so much for being here, and take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.